What is an API? Every time you use a modern app or website, there is a good chance it is communicating with several other systems behind the scenes. Your weather app retrieves forecast data. A travel website checks airline availability. A food delivery app processes payments and tracks drivers on a map. All of these interactions rely on something called an API. APIs quietly connect different pieces of software so they can share information and perform tasks together. Most people never see them directly, but they are a fundamental part of how modern digital services operate. So today we are going to walk through what an API actually is and how these systems allow software to communicate with each other. Chapter 1. What API stands for. API stands for Application Programming Interface. The name may sound technical, but the basic idea is straightforward. An API is a set of rules that allows one piece of software to request information or services from another piece of software. Instead of directly accessing the internal code of another system, programs communicate through these defined interfaces. The API specifies what requests are allowed and what kind of responses will be returned. This structure makes it easier for different systems to interact without exposing their internal complexity. Chapter 2. A restaurant analogy. One simple way to understand an API is to imagine a restaurant. You sit down at a table and look at the menu. The menu shows what you are allowed to order. You tell the waiter what you want. The waiter carries the request to the kitchen and brings back your meal. In this analogy, the waiter acts like an API. The kitchen represents the system that actually performs the work. You never enter the kitchen yourself. You simply place requests through the interface provided. Chapter 3. How software uses APIs. In software systems, APIs allow programs to communicate with each other over networks. For example, a mobile app may request data from a remote server. The app sends a request through the API describing what information it needs. The server processes the request and returns the requested data. The app then uses that data to display information to the user. This exchange happens quickly and often without the user noticing. Chapter 4. Requests and responses. APIs typically operate through a request and response model. One system sends a request describing the action it wants performed. The receiving system processes the request and returns a response. For example, a weather app might send a request asking for the forecast for a particular city. The weather service processes the request and returns the forecast data. The app then displays the results to the user. This simple structure allows many different systems to exchange information reliably. Chapter 5. Web APIs and the Internet. Many APIs operate over the Internet and are known as web APIs. These APIs use standard communication protocols that allow software to interact across different platforms. A website might use an API to retrieve data from another service. A mobile application might use several APIs to gather maps, payments, and messaging functions. Because these APIs follow standard formats, developers can integrate external services without building everything from scratch. Chapter 6. Why APIs are useful. APIs make software development more efficient. Instead of building every feature internally, developers can use APIs provided by other services. For example, a developer building an online store might use a payment processing API rather than building a payment system from the ground up. This allows developers to focus on their core product while relying on specialized services for other functions. The result is faster development and more reliable systems. Chapter 7. APIs in everyday apps. Many common apps rely heavily on APIs. A ride-sharing app may use mapping APIs to calculate routes and travel times. A social media platform might use APIs to connect with advertising services. Streaming platforms use APIs to retrieve content libraries and deliver recommendations. Even basic login systems may rely on authentication APIs. Behind the scenes, these APIs allow complex systems to operate as coordinated networks of services. Chapter 8. API Security and Access. Because APIs allow access to important services and data, security is an important consideration. Many APIs require authentication before accepting requests. This may involve API keys, tokens, or other verification methods. These credentials ensure that only authorized systems can access the service. Rate limits may also restrict how frequently requests can be made. These measures help protect the system from misuse or excessive traffic. Chapter 9. The growing role of APIs. As software systems become more interconnected, APIs are becoming even more important. Modern applications often consist of many smaller services communicating through APIs. This approach allows systems to scale and evolve more easily. Instead of building one large program, developers create multiple services that interact through well-defined interfaces. This architecture helps modern digital systems remain flexible and maintainable. To wrap up, an API is a set of rules that allows different pieces of software to communicate with each other. Programs send requests through the API and receive responses containing data or results. This structure allows developers to connect systems without exposing internal code. APIs make it easier to build applications by allowing software to reuse existing services such as payments, maps, or authentication. Although most users never see them directly, APIs are essential building blocks of modern digital infrastructure. This has been a mini Leviathan production. If you enjoyed it, check out our other videos. Comment below what other topics you would like us to cover. See you in the next one.